It's life, it happens, your socks break.
I did not need to rest right now. It's
I got a lot of fat there, so.
Bright start.
Alba, as a junior last year, competed in the Open.
And it is match totals for Alba and Chiara heading into deadlift.
Easy work of that. Ow!
And look at Alba!
2024 edition from Sweden, Alba Boström.
Good morning everyone and welcome to another YouTube video. Today it's Monday. It's gonna basically be the first day of the next prep, which is World Games. Last week I got sick, so I did film that video. I think I said I was sick in it. I actually don't remember. Yeah, it was my first session back after I got sick. And I was sick and then I did my first session and never really felt better. So I just had more days of, I was training, but kept it super easy apart from the training. But today is the first day of actually real back for real in routines, back for real with not only training, but tracking, walks, work, everything. So last week was kind of like a chill rest week with some work, and then we have midsummer and the weekend. And so I had those days completely off, which definitely I feel was necessary to actually just really relax and get back into the groove. And so now I've been working some in the morning because Minal, my co-coach, she's having a week of vacation because it's time for her to also have that week of rest, because you need that sometimes to have energy to give your best. And so she's having that, which means I'm doing a little bit more. So normally I would train before I do work in the morning, but I wanted to split it up so I wouldn't have a super long, basically a super long flight almost of just working. So instead I just decided, okay, let's do 1 hour in the morning, then train, and then have lunch and stuff, and then have the evening as a longer flight. I'm currently just fixing my orange juice for training. I'm not gonna be having a super big amount because training is still kind of easy. I'm gonna try to push my reps a little bit today, but it will still be kind of easy in terms of RP and probably in weights too. But I will be pushing, last week it was super easy, now I will be pushing a little bit. Also, I have no idea what's going on with my hair. Yeah, honestly, I regret cutting it so much. So I will most likely probably just be putting it into I will do a back slit bun, because I try to keep it out because yeah, I just want to give my scalp a rest of just okay, let my scalp rest a little bit, because then probably it will also help it grow a little bit healthier, because having it up all the time obviously is gonna put damage on your hair. I think that's why it got so damaged in the end last time when I cut it, which is why I ended up cutting it so much. If it wouldn't have been to hair and not been damaged, I wouldn't have done it, so. But it was, so yeah. I'm just hoping it will grow back fast. My hair grows kind of fast, but it would be nice if it grew extra fast, or not because I don't think that's possible, but if it was possible for it to just grow a little bit faster, I guess, that would be nice. And so basically I'm just doing my shake here, and I'll have orange juice, I have electrolytes. I put my creatine in here because, as I said before, there are some studies that show that creatine is better absorbed during muscle contraction. However, I don't know, either way, I find that it's so nice to kind of just do at the same time when you're during training. It's so easy to get in. Otherwise, I feel I would dry scoop it on Sundays when I don't train, because yeah, it's just a bother. I feel it blends in perfectly in this too. And then I'll have some water. All right, here we go. I also have a banana, I think. Just because I did have my smoothie, but I want a little bit more carbs. Usually I would aim to have way more, but today I'm I can have less because I'm not training that hard. Next week will be more, because now that I'm not training as hard, if I do go super high on my calories, yes, I would recover faster, but I do feel pretty recovered. So if I would feel crazy beat, I would do that. But otherwise, it's just gonna make me gain weight And then it's just gonna be like the heavy weights. I can't eat that much because I'm gonna gain too much weight too fast. I rather like when I'm training really hard and eat more, I gain a little bit still, but it's like less. And it's like I use it for something. But otherwise, if I just train easy and I eat a lot, I just gain weight, and then I just have to do like a crazy hard cut to be in striking range for the 63s, which isn't really nice. So I found that it's easier to just be at a maintenance, and then just on the hard days, I just go up, and then otherwise I stay at the maintenance so that I don't gain too much. My weight is very low though. I'm like 65, which I normally am not at this time, but I think it's because I've been sick. So, which I have been eating the same, but yeah. So today, I got squat, I got bench, I got front foot elevated split squats, not an SPD, but we'll see how that goes. I think you can notice I'm kind of tired. It's also like raining outside, so it's like super gray. You know, look at this. Oh shit, sorry. But it's like so gray, which is kind of sad. So I'll just finish this banana, and then I'll slick my hair back so I can get it in the way, because otherwise it's not, I can't trim with it out at this point, but yeah, it's just a mess. So I'll slick it back because I need to, because of these, since they're so short, I have to like do a really back, can't just put it back, but I'll do that to get ready. Maybe go for a walk today. I will be taking a little bit less walks than normal today. I'm standing up while working instead, but mainly it's because I don't want to overdo it, because last Monday I went straight back into routines, and that's why I got sick. So today I'm back in routines, but I'll chill on the activity front to gradually ease into it rather than to go straight up immediately, because then I'll probably feel bad. Good thing is I'm not going to take out too much energy today, since like I'm feeling more, because it's like when it's raining I have less energy, so you know, it's not gonna be like I'm gonna be crazy energized. Okay, let's go. Okay, so now I'm in the gym, hair slicked back, best hairstyle ever, apart from the fact that I may get a headache if I have it too long, but just need to get used to it and then it's fine. But hair is completely out of the way and I feel amazing. And let's move on from that. I'm currently warming up. I just did like 120. So basically what I got today is I'm back to doing tempo squats as my top sets. I've done this in the past. I haven't done it in a while. Previously, when I've done it, it always helped my squat improve, because basically it's like by having a tempo on my top set, and I actually programmed this for some of the people that I coach too. By doing that, automatically I have forward intent into my training. So what forward intent means is basically just making something a little bit harder than it needs to be in order to improve. Because if you're doing the same thing all the time, it's very easy to, every single human being, plant, everything on earth is under entropy. And what this means is just like cells, we all regress and die unless we get better. So basically, if I'm doing the same thing as I'm always doing, I'm just doing normal squats, no tempo, no nothing, just going straight up and down, which usually is gonna happen, especially if, for example, I don't have intent on doing it in the exact same way all the time. What's gonna happen is usually my technique is gonna regress. It's actually gonna get worse. Even though I'm a very experienced lifter, obviously now I'm a world champion, but even though I am that, I still regress in my technique. So what's gonna happen is my control in the squat is gonna get worse. I'm gonna go faster down. When I go faster down, which just happens subconsciously because I don't have any kind of tempos, when I do that, my squat may get easier at first, but then it's like all of a sudden I have zero control of my upper body, my brace, and it just happens that entire movement is less controlled. And then small things you start to change, and all of a sudden in a few months I'm gonna have a Frankenstein where I won't have progressed my squat. I'm gonna wonder why, and everything will feel off, and I will try different things to make it feel better. But if I am consistent and I actually add, for example, a tempo, close to competition, I don't wanna do this because my squat top end gets worse when I'm doing tempos. It's not like a super slow tempo, so some of you may be like, that's just a normal squat. For me, it is a tempo, but just having that intent of making it slower allows me to, and especially also drawing out where I stand, make sure that I am very consistent and that I'm trying to improve on my weaknesses, and that helps me actually improve and to avoid entropy, so avoid regressing instead. And whenever I don't do these kind of things and I do it for too long, like during peaking I want to do it. When I want to be super strong, yeah, I don't want to have any tempos or anything weird like that. But basically, like as soon as I'm far away from competition, when there's a long time, I don't want to just do squats like normal or bench like normal or deadlift without thinking for too long, because then I'm gonna regress. So I always want to, when I'm off from competition or anything, I basically want to have these small things where I do think about it a lot, making sure I'm consistent, not changing my technique too much, just making sure I'm consistent so that once I'm close to competition, I can actually like turn everything off and not think. I found that that helps for me at least. So I have tempo. I have 2 sets of tempo doubles. It's just RP 6 to 7 today. So like I said, I'm gonna push a little bit more than last week, because last week I went super easy, but still so like go kind of easy. So we'll see where we end up. I got 135 on the bar now, so I'm gonna do that, and then after 135 I'll go 150 and then a 160, which is what I did for 1 tempo double last week. So if I could do 2 sets at 160, it's progress from last week. Or if I can just do like 165, that's good. Maybe 170, I have no idea. We'll see, because my back was fried last week. I had to, when I first did my deadlifts after I get sick, I couldn't even do one, or I did 120, but I stopped there because I was like, okay, my back is fried. The next day I could do 185 because my back was better after just having moved. It's just because I'm still so much when I was sick, but my back was fried. And I did 185 in the deadlift, but I failed it on the first attempt because I was a little bit too conscious and afraid of my back. And the next one I was just like, okay, let's just go, and then I made it, and it was easy, but it's like I don't really dare to push from the bottom. So I want to be a little bit careful today as well, just to make sure that in case something is still there, because I still haven't been able to get back to all my walking, which is what helps my back. Maybe, you know, I will have some pain, and I don't want to aggravate something during this time, because then just walking won't help. Then I will have a lot of weeks regressing, and we don't want that. So I'll be a little bit careful today. And basically it's just like week 2 as well, so don't need to push too hard. Okay, it's been 5 minutes, so I did not need to rest 5 minutes right now, but let's do the next set.
Okay, last set of 7. I know I can do 30 kilos more than this, but because I've been sick, it's definitely harder than normally. And obviously also when you haven't done high reps in a long time, which I haven't done in like 6 weeks, it's always a little bit harder too, but I feel like the first set was the worst. Second set was way better, so even though I got a pump and now I'm a bit fatigued from doing 2 sets, I think this will be the best one. So let's go. This actually was a better set. Just in case you're wondering, when I put in the bar, you may be thinking, okay, she should lower the rack 1 step. But it's just that in competition, and when it's really heavy, I do have a 1 height, like 1 step lower on the rack. Because my lift off does get, like when it's heavy, it makes it easier. But it's like, let me just catch my breath. If I always have the lower height, I notice that I start putting the bar lower and lower, and that makes my squat feel worse. So what I just noticed is that my squat feels the best when I have the bar a little bit higher, and it helps then if I have a height lower on the rack. But when I do go in, yes, I do hit the rack, but it's something where normally my lift off is easier. It's just that when it's very, very heavy, like when I'm in a strength block or a peaking block, at that point, the lift off is easier if I do have 1 step lower. But most of the time otherwise, my squat technique gets better if I have it on the higher one, even though I hit the rack when I go in. Just because otherwise I just end up with the 7 height. If I just do it, like if I would change to 7 height on the last set, it would feel the same and the lift up would feel better. But when I always have that low height, the bar gets lower and lower, because when the lower the rack, the lower you can get the bar. So I just have the higher height most of the time in training to make sure that I do put the bar in the higher placement all the time, so that when I do get into peak and heavy weights, even though I have the lower height to get the better lift off, I actually, always put the bar like at the same place. So, because I'm used to it, but it's just that, like I said, otherwise I end up going lower and lower and lower because I can't. So, and then my squat gets heavier and less consistent. So it's something that I noticed this last prep for Worlds. So I'm gonna keep it up. But now you know why I do hit the rack when I go in, and that is fine. I just get done with bench. I just did 105 kilos, so kept it pretty light. Even though this block I'm supposed to push my reps, but even though I am going to do that, I kind of felt like last time when I did push the reps on this session, I usually feel good on this session, but then my primary days feels shitty. I want to keep my primary day feeling pretty good. Just gonna fix the bench here. So I basically just did like go 105, because I did like that peaking block and it felt pretty good, and then I'm gonna push the reps on the other sessions instead. So I'll have this more as like a practice day. I did go a little bit heavier than I usually do when I do warm-ups with my feet up, just because I felt like I could. I wanted to see, because I can't do 100 feet up, but I haven't been doing it easily in a while, so I thought, okay, let's try and see. And it was easy today. Got a little bit of buckles, but oh well. Now I got front foot elevated split squat. I'm gonna be honest with you, I am tired. Definitely still not 100%, but it will come. So I'm not excited for front foot elevated split squats, because honestly,
It's death. If there's one exercise I don't like doing, it's front foot elevated split squats. But guess what? I'm gonna do it anyway, even though like I usually want to die when I do it. Also, if you wonder why I changed top, I always do that for bench because in competition, this is like maybe even like a hot take. In competition, I find that having a t-shirt doesn't matter because the competition bench, especially at high level meets, is always gonna be new and have a very good grip. And when you have a singlet on, the singlet gives you better grip than the t-shirt would. So just having a t-shirt on a comp bench, you usually feel like you usually glide, even if you have a shock and everything. My bench at home, it's somewhere in between a super soft pad and a hard pad. In a sense, I love it, but either way, it's like if I get really good grip if I'm bare skin, but if I do have a t-shirt, my grip is worse, and then my bench ends up feeling worse. And in competition, even though I have a singlet and t-shirt, it doesn't feel the same. I can have singlet and a t-shirt on this bench, and then I get real good grip. But that's why I don't want my bench to feel worse for no reason. And I know I talked about forward intent in the beginning of the video, but yes, I want a forward intent, but that just screws up my technique. It just makes me regress in my technique. And bench, I'm so sensitive to losing my technique in bench. It's so easy for me to just lose tension and just really sink and like sink my entire body. And they're probably gonna do like a rule change regarding that you can't change your lifted start position, meaning that you can still sink the bar. If I'm interpreting this correctly, obviously it's not official yet, so maybe they don't even change it, but it was talk about it at Worlds that you can still sink the bar, but you can't go like this and then this, which is what some people do. They sink by sinking like this. Obviously your head comes up, which is not okay, but you do change your like start position. Basically your chest has to be as high. I'm worried about if the hips are allowed to sink, because for me, my chest remains the same when I sink the bar, but my glutes do squish together because I got a lot of fat there. So, you know, they're gonna squish together. If I were bony, it wouldn't have happened, but you know, like it's just gonna squish because of the weight of the bar. So I don't know if that's okay, we'll see. But either way, I'm gonna end up doing like something like that if I'm not consistent or start going way higher in terms of depth. So I want to really make sure that I don't do that. And so I have to be consistent. So having a t-shirt is all of a sudden it's gonna make me feel worse and it's gonna be harder for me to stay tight. And for me, that's not gonna, for example, for squat, if I would do something like that, okay, makes it harder, my top and like tempo is gonna aid my bench, aid my lift. But for bench, it's gonna make my lift worse because it's just not gonna feel as good. It's just gonna screw up my consistency, basically. And I do want that consistency so that I have like a good, because that's what allowed me to finally bench 140 like I did. After Junior Worlds, somewhere like just before the end of 2024, I did do a triple in training at 140 actually. I was super consistent with my technique at that time, and then after that, I struggled with doing it again. I managed to do doubles, but they were not, I could do them, but I wasn't very confident in them before Sheffield. And you know, you would think that, okay, maybe then I can do 145. No, because my technique wasn't consistent. But now that it finally was, I managed to actually get 140 in competition, so yeah. That's it. Okay, front foot elevated split squats, and it's time. I got 3 sets of either 12s or 15 reps. Let's hope it's 12s, but we're gonna do it no matter what. Okay, let's get going. I actually had 12 reps, so I just do it here. Sometimes I do it with like barbell instead. I'm stiffer on this side, like on my front thigh, so it makes it a bit harder on one side. That was just warm up. So I do very little reps in my warm-ups, and that's because I don't want to get a pump in my legs, because if I get a pump too early, what's basically gonna happen is it will make it harder for me to add weight. It's, for example, it's the same if for example, I have 8s in squats. If I do 8s from 70 kilos all the time up, when I get to a heavy weight, I'm gonna be fried because I have too much blood in my legs. So rather, I would like to go up to around that high weight, doing low reps, so I just wake up my nervous system and make sure that I'm warm enough, but I don't have a pump. And that will allow me to perform better and actually do heavier weight on my high reps. And I take that to my hypertrophy and accessories, like I warm up with just doing 1 to 3 reps on 1 or 2 weights. And then I go into the higher weight and do my actual sets, because I found that that helped. I got it from Stand Efforting, but I find that that helps me perform a little bit better. Like, it allows me to have a heavier weight on my reps without like being too tired, because I could honestly do, because front foot elevated squats is heavy without weight even. So I could honestly do 12 kilos and it would feel terrible, but I want to go up a little bit higher because I can. So I just did 3 reps and that is fine. Now I'm gonna do 20 kilos because I did 15 kilos last week. I done 30 kilos per dumbbell maximum on this exercise. I've done like 70 kilos, 60 or 70 with a barbell. I don't push my accessories super hard in terms of weight. I push them more in terms of mind to muscle connection, simply because I found that I get enough heavy stimulus from my squats and deadlifts and bench. So for everything else, I mostly just need to engage my muscle. And if I do have heavy weights, sometimes I screw up my technique and then I don't, really get what I'm looking for. So if that makes sense. Now I'll take a quick breather before my next leg, just to make sure that I get the same quality on the next leg. Obviously my right leg is actually my hardest, so I probably should start with that one, but I keep forgetting. Two more sets. Also, I feel like I just have to apologize for the fact that I got a big hole in my sock on the heel. I just noticed when I checked my technique, I was like, oh shit. Like I bought like 10 pair of Gymshark like crew socks, because I love white crew socks, and like 5 black and then colored ones, but like almost all of them are getting broken, and it's sad, but oh well. Usually I have shoes, it's not gonna show, but yeah, I noticed that's not pretty, but it's life, it happens, your socks break. And I feel like, yeah, usually when I'm home, obviously if they break too much, I'm gonna throw them away. I need to buy new ones soon. I get a few more that are still fine, but it's starting to get like a bother, because I have to do my laundry more often. When I have like 12 socks, I can do it like every 12 days or something, or sometimes every 14 days, because I have so many clothes that I don't need to, like, I have changeable clothes for a long time, but now it's like in just like 5 days, I'm out of everything, like all of my socks. So I have to wash again, and I feel like it's a bother because I don't like doing that too often. So note to myself to get new ones finally, but yeah, so I just noticed too, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm finally done for today. It was nice. Oh, I just need to fix the camera a bit. So nice to be back, but I was last Monday too, so I'm not gonna make the mistake of like going too hard too soon. So now what I need to do is I'm gonna put on some rice in the rice cooker. So that's done in about 35 to 40 minutes. It says 35 minutes on the rice cooker, but it's always longer. So I'll do that. And then I'm just gonna do some work in the meantime. And then I'll go on a long walk as well. After that, yeah, I'll do some more work in the evening. So basically gonna try to have like one longer and one short walk today. So not like having too many. It's because I'm not 100% and I don't want to get back to last week. It would be nice to be able to like get back into the groove of things, obviously. So yeah, I'm excited. But with that said, that's it for this video. I don't know, I felt like I didn't say too much, maybe, I don't know. Either way, I want to thank you so much for watching this video, for your support again. And yeah, a lot of people actually went up to me at Worlds and told me that they love my YouTube videos, which makes me so happy because honestly, I'm not that big on YouTube, don't have that many subscribers or views yet. And obviously it's also like not my main thing, but it's something that I do enjoy doing from time to time. So whenever I do actually put out the YouTube video, it's because I'm excited to do it. So it's very genuine in that sense. And yeah, it has meant a lot to me. So I want to thank you so much. I'll try to make like a technique video again because a lot of people told me they like the bench one. So I'll try to make more of that. But thank you so much for your support for watching. And if you're interested in coaching, I do got slots open. So what you can do is you can click the link below this video to schedule a free call, either with me or Minal. It depends on what time you choose. So we still see. And we'll have a call with you and basically learn all about you and see if we feel like we're a good match. And if we do feel like we're a good match, then we'll get started on the coaching. Pretty much you'll get to know all about the cost, everything. So look at it like completely risk-free, zero attachment call, just to see if it feels good for you, and then we'll go from there basically. But so thank you again for watching, for your support. And if you're interested in coaching, I'll talk to you soon. And otherwise, stay tuned for the next video next week.